Wow, good morning, everybody. How are you today? So we're going to start with a little welcome, and welcome to those of you that are joining us live, and also welcome to all of you that I know who have asked me to record this because of commitments and work and stuff. They're not going to be able to be live with us. So the first thing I want to do is start off with a little recognition of who's leading the way in February. Can you see my screen? So I just want to say, in the number 5 category, a downline from Sherry Carr, Allison Hansen with 8,102 in sales and 2 recruits. Miss Ann Anderson, isn't she on the call? She's supposed to be. 8,948 dollars in sales. Her top show, though, over $2,487 show. Number 3 spot, I hope she's supposed to be on here. I know Linda's on here. Linda, text her. We have Debbie Cook, number 3 with 9,504 and 2 recruits. In the second spot, Love Carpenter. I don't know what is happening to Love Carpenter this month, but she is on fire right now. 9,504. Oh wait, $9,586. Yeah, Debbie, you're only $82 away from 4 recruits, though. Oh my gosh! And number 1. Mr. Quick Cooker himself, who's at church because I bet he's Jesus for Easter again. Michael Reeves with $13,883 in sales, and he's got a bunch of shows on his desk. Kathy, what did he say he's thinking?
19, 20, I think, right?
Yeah, he's going to be at 19 or 20 by the end of the month. And then leading the way with recruiting, in addition to Love with 4, we've got Ellington Boyce with 3. Top show so far, Tina Ciccone with 3,205. And the second top show, Linda, I know I saw you. Where did you go? Is there a page 2? Maybe she's on.
There is a page 2. Oh, she's there. She's there.
Okay, Linda's brand new person, first show, and it's a cooking show, $3,085. Her name is Sarah Tucker. I don't know who Sarah Tucker is, but I bet we all will eventually.
That's fabulous.
That is absolutely fabulous. And then with 5 recruits going back to top recruiter, on Ellington Boyce's team, a girl named Janessa Crump. I guess, Sherry, that might be the next director on Ellington. And then you guys, Marina Johnson, you're going to have to look this up. Marina, you know Marina, the Italian who taught us to make pasta and gnocchi. She hired an Italian chef named Pietro? Patty, how do you pronounce his name?
Pietro.
Pietro is a chef. They dance at parties, and so far you haven't seen any sales from him. You will next month. He's already recruited 8 people, 3 this month. Pietro Barbagala, who dances and cooks, and they're having a wild time, and they're adding all these Italian people out in Vegas. And hats off to recruits, Patty, Rosarindo, Candace Lang, and then 2 people that are on Love's team, Debbie Jarman and Angela Dawkins. So, oh my goodness. Excellent.
Ann got on the call.
Hey, Ann, you were one of the top 5 sales. Congratulations. And one of the top shows on the team. So now I am going to be introducing Stacia, and let's see, I need to make sure that it is on speaker view. Do I have it, Stacia?
there's a lot of noise too. Somebody's doing dishes or drinking beer or something.
Let me mute a couple of people. If you guys want to go ahead and mute yourself.
Okay.
Okay. And Stacia, where are you at?
I'm here. I went ahead and did screen share. I hope that's okay.
Yes.
All right. And let me just pull this up. That way, I'm just really want to take you all through a series of questions, but I feel like it's easier to see the questions in front of you rather than me just read them. So the slides really are just a bonus. They don't really have a whole lot of content on them. But first of all, I wanted to thank Marie and Patty for inviting me today. I am so excited just to be on with you and to get to know you all better. It's nice that they're unleashing me from the office and letting me come out and get to know you guys. So this is a true honor and privilege to be with you today. So Marie and Patty asked me to share a little bit about defining and developing your personal brand and some social media tips and how to convey and share your personal brand utilizing your social media. So I'm going to run through this quickly. Any slides or notes that you might need from me afterwards, and of course you're recording this so you'll have everything too. So I want to start at the beginning, and the beginning is Pampered Chef. So you may have heard this if you were at National Conference. We have to start when we talk about our personal brand with defining the Pampered Chef brand. So the first question I want you to think about is, what do you think about the Pampered Chef brand? And I would love for any of you to unmute or even just drop in the chat. When you hear Pampered Chef, what is it that comes to mind for you?
Class.
Okay. Michelle says class. Anyone else? First words that come to mind when somebody says Pampered Chef.
Cooking.
Cooking.
Quality.
Quality.
Fun.
Fun. Yeah. Those are all really interesting comments and thoughts. Hopefully you've all heard these similar sentiments. I'm sure you have. I know you all are well aware that we are working towards a really broad brand awareness of Pampered Chef. And as a company and organization, we're working hard to get you that brand recognition. And along with that brand recognition comes the next question. And we've asked these questions in public. When you think about Pampered Chef, what do you want people to think about us? So I ask you the same question. And go ahead, you can unmute or type in the chat. When you think about Pampered Chef, what is it that you want people to say when they're asked that question?
That we help them.
Okay.
That we're known for helping people.
Solving
In a
problems?
sticky situation, yeah.
Yeah.
Quality products that save you time.
Yeah.
Essential tools, foundational products, go-to, best of the best.
Oh, I love that. Best of the best. That's awesome, Marie. And you're both right. Those are all things that we want to be known for. So the beauty is that each one of you on this call today have control of this perception. With every post you make, with every conversation you start, every personal message you send, you establish the perception of not only Pampered Chef, but of your personal brand as well. So my next question that I want you to consider is, what do you want people to say when they think of you? And I'm talking you as a person. And I know this is a difficult question that will require a lot more thought. But really think about, what do you want people to say when they think of you? And don't answer that question out loud, but just take a minute, maybe jot down a few notes or just the first thing that comes to mind. And hopefully you're writing down some of those same positive words and phrases: helpful, solution-based, quality, confident, that we talked about earlier. But you also want people to remember you as their Pampered Chef person, their go-to guru. And that's what we really want to spend the rest of our time identifying and defining, is your own personal brand. And social media at this point in life, in your business, plays a major role in this. We all know that this is really a relationship business. Every post, every message, every Facebook Live, you are working to establish and build a relationship with your community. It's just not always in that face-to-face living room or kitchen setting that we were used to when the company first started. And regardless of the platform or channel you're using, whether it's personal, whether it's business, you are working hard to make yourself and your business appear more attractive to others, more appealing, more interesting, and you're making others want to pay attention to you. So my next question is kind of a gut check question for you. Who are you on social media? Who are you? What do people see when they go to your social media profile? Because really, who you are on social media is who you are in business. Think about that. What you put out there in the social world is exactly what and who people perceive you to be in your business. As you are right now, are you portraying yourself on your social media in a way that you're pleased? Are you using the right language for your posts? What are some of the phrases that you're using? Are you negative? Are you whiny? Are you begging for a booking or for a sale? Maybe you might not be, but perhaps you have a team member who is. And I would guess you've got one person floating around out there that comes to mind for you. And I want to ask you, do you find that person to be attractive in their social media? I'm judging by the reaction that the answer is no. It's not attractive. It's not attractive to be that person. If you do something that's not acceptable, it can become common knowledge in a matter of minutes, if not seconds, in the social world. Social media has played an important role in making many companies and individuals more honest and more authentic. And we are no different here. As you're evaluating your social media presence, keep in mind commonplace social media etiquette. What are the no-nos of social media? Can any come to mind right off the top of your head?
Make sure you unmute.
Yes.
Complaining.
Yep.
Comparing us negatively, or comparing other companies negatively compared to Pampered Chef.
Or complaining about something from your own company.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
Dirty laundry.
Yep.
yeah,
Ugh,
yeah,
that's the worst.
it is.
Political topics, controversial topics, and even vulgar topics. I want you to remember, nothing travels faster this day and age than a screenshot. That's powerful. You might be thinking, well, Stacia, it's on my personal page. What does it matter? I can voice my opinion. Well, I want to remind you that that's not how your audience perceives it. They don't differentiate between, oh, this was just Marie's personal page. She's allowed to say this here. It's not on her business page. They still know Marie as their favorite Pampered Chef consultant. And they've seen her now, and again, just using Marie as an example, post negatively or complain about something. And that perception rolls over into her business. There is no differentiation. They associate anything you post personally with you and with your business. Social media really is your vehicle for recreating the in-person relationship. And that's how we have to think of it now, is it's just another avenue, and look at it as an opportunity to build and grow your business. But if you wouldn't say it at home or in a face-to-face relationship or interaction with someone, then don't post it on your social media. I know it's really easy to hide behind a screen and feel like you've got all of this empowerment to post and say what's on your mind, but people still want to get to know you. So don't hide behind that screen and use a filter when you're posting. But remember, people also want to see your face and hear your voice, not just read your comments in your posts and look at your pictures. So coming out from behind the screen is going to make your brand so much more appealing, inviting, and intriguing to your audience. So my next question for you is, how do I want to be known? And now that you've taken time to evaluate the current state of your social media presence, or you're starting to think in that avenue, ask yourself this question. And this means you as a person, not you, the Pampered Chef consultant. When I think of this question, I think of words for myself like friendly, outgoing, kind, supportive, caretaker, and also sarcastic. And if you know me well enough, you'll know I've got a little hint of that. And that's how I want people to see me. Your answer to this question should really reinforce those characteristics that you listed out earlier. Because remember, you control what people think about you. So when you have time, I want you to think about this question and really process it. How do you want people to know you? The next question that follows is, what is something that makes people think of you? You might need to actually ask some other people this question, and maybe it's people on this call that can answer this for you. And some of you already know this answer, and that's okay too. The answer to this question is one that you can use to create consistency in your social media posts, images, and videos. And I'm going to talk more about that later. But what are the things that people think of you that make people think of you? The next important question when developing your personal brand is, what do you want people to feel, or how do you want to make people feel when they think of you? So if somebody gets invited to one of your Pampered Chef parties, how do you want them to feel when they see your name as the consultant listed? What are those things that you want to excite in people? My next question is one of my favorites for you, and I would love to hear some of your answers to this. How would your customers describe you to his or her best friend? Anyone want to share? Unmute and share.
Don't all be shy. We have
I
here.
know this isn't a shy group.
Fun. I think most of my customers would describe me as fun.
Okay, Jennifer.
I think mine would describe me as enthusiastic, maybe a little hyper.
Okay.
Don't laugh. Those of you who know me, don't laugh.
No, I think that's great. If that's who you are, that's how we want them to describe you to people. Michelle, what about you? I see you unmuted.
Unexpected sense of humor.
Oh, that's fun. Now, I think it's cool that we heard 3 completely different responses, because all of you are different and everybody gave a great response. And this is really one of the highlights that I love most about our business. Every one of you can represent Pampered Chef in your own unique way. And in fact, this is what works best in our business when you're authentic and true to who you are. Your personal brand should not be the same as anybody else's. So that leads me to my next question. Why do people choose to do business with you? When they do a search on pamperedchef.com and they get 10 different names that pop up, and they choose you and they continue to come back to you instead of going back to find somebody else, why is it that they choose you? And this is a thought-provoking question, and it's going to take some time for you to really answer that. And I've interviewed several consultants who have shared different reasons. And if you were at National Conference, you heard Kristen and Sharon and Becky share why their customers choose to do business. For Becky, it's because she's real and she's a teacher and she cares about the other person. For Sharon, she's fun and she's energetic, and her customers know that they can come to her for the truth, and she is going to tell them 100% and guide them directly to where they need to be. And for Kristen, she's innovative and she's different and she's unique and she relates. And what I love most is that each one of their customers remember them for exactly those things. This is their personal brand and they live it out every day. And if you know any of the 3 of those ladies, you know that's exactly how they walk life. And this is a key to developing your personal brand. It's authentic, it's true, and it truly reflects who you are. And the last question as we talk about personal branding is, how does your brand align with Pampered Chef? This question might be a little more difficult to answer, and again, we'll take you some more time to do so. And that's totally okay. I want you to remember our Pampered Chef vision is to enrich lives one meal and one memory at a time. So as you take some time to go back through those questions and maybe jot down and start to develop your personal brand, this answer should truly take you more time to develop. But I promise you, taking the time to go through it and thoughtfully respond to how do I align with this statement of enriching lives one meal and one memory at a time will be well worth it to you as you clarify what exactly it is that you want to represent as a Pampered Chef consultant. And my biggest encouragement here to you is to be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else, because you're not going to be a Sharon. You're not going to be a Kristen or a Becky or a Marie or a Patty. You need to be the best version of you to be the best Pampered Chef consultant that you can truly be. I want to pause and take any questions on the personal branding before we jump into how do I portray this on social media? If you've got any questions.
Not questions, but a comment about this is who you are on your personal page, because I was seeing that some people were creating like a VIP group, and it was like they were trying to fish inside of a bucket, and there were no fish in that tiny little bucket. So this is who you are to the world, and when you are yourself, hopefully you'll have people kind of gravitating to you.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. This is all, I mean, there's a term for this. It's attraction marketing. And that's what you're doing. You are not putting yourself out there to sell yourself, but you're making yourself be seen in a way that attracts people to you. You're putting your best foot forward, just as if you were going to get dressed and go to the office every day and you want to impress your boss and do all of these things. You're doing the same thing when you're marketing yourself in your social media. And then that, Marie, is a great segue into the second half of this in presenting your brand on social media. So I want to talk to you about developing this brand and making it real. What does this look like in action? Because it's really one thing to know who you are, but it's another thing to articulate that image. And this is where social media will help you do that. So I want to talk about how do you bring your personal brand to life on your social channels. Asking you, do you know what to say? And do you know where and when to post? Because those are critical questions that we need to answer for you to effectively build this brand that you've worked really hard to define.
We're hoping you're going to answer those.
I am going to answer that. I am. So I'm going to tell you there are a lot of unclear answers that you can decide though too. So the answers to those questions really should be uncovered as you walk your way through those previous questions, as you answered and defined your personal brand. But there's one piece of the puzzle that we haven't addressed yet, and that's your ideal customer. And when you get to know your ideal customer, it answers that question of where to post and how to post, because you need to find out, where is my ideal customer hanging out and where are they spending their time on social media? So to identify your ideal customer, I've got a list of questions you can ask. Where do they live? Where is this person on social media? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Pinterest? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Snapchat? I challenge you to figure that out. Where is this person that you're looking for? And that's where you want to hone in and focus. So if your person is on, and your ideal customer is on Facebook, that's where you want to focus. If your ideal customer is living in the world of Instagram like I am, then that's where you want to invest your time in your social media business. What are the characteristics of this person? And guys, as I'm asking you these questions and you take time later to go back, start jotting down in a notebook and really thoroughly answer these questions about your ideal customer. Where do they live? Who do they follow? What are their interests and hobbies? What does their family look like? Honestly, this person could be somebody very similar to you. And if so, that's great. This could be somebody who lives close by to you. When you're building your personal brand, you cannot overlook your target audience. You must define this person clearly in order to be able to effectively speak on your social media channels. So that's the what you post, because you're going to want to focus on what interests this person, what intrigues them, and what attracts them, so that you're sending the right messages. Think about the people that you follow and those who follow you. Who else are they liking? Who are they following? What makes them comment or react to a story or a post? Take some time to study your own social media and get to know those people that follow you and the people that you follow inside and out. This will help you craft your message in a very specific and relevant manner for your ideal customer. It will help to engage them and create a sense of intrigue and interest, so that they'll want to get to know you more and learn more about you and what you have to offer. Really, this is you living out your brand on your social channels the same way you would in person. You carry your tote, you start conversations in the grocery store or in the doctor's office or at soccer practice, and you do the same thing utilizing your social media. Overarching message should always be about engagement. So when you're posting, think about, how does this engage my ideal customer? Those things that interest your ideal customer, things that entertain them, and things that intrigue them and leave them wanting more from you. Your ideal customer should see you in every post, every comment, and every image. That's that authentic you that we talked about in defining your personal brand. So make it your goal to share yourself with your community as though they were talking with you face to face. And I mean your social community. In every post you make, think about it as though you are talking to your best friend sitting across the coffee table and having just a casual conversation. That's how you want to share and portray your social media. So let's talk about bringing your brand to life. When you're using images and graphics, and I know you all are, make sure they're personal and bring your voice to the screen. So you can be using images from marketing imagery on pamperedchef.com, but make sure you use your own voice in them. You're having a conversation with your community and you're talking to them. So you want to be sharing yourself and who you are and what's going on in your day-to-day life. It's great to share your real life. Like Marie said, this is your personal page we're talking about. And you want to be attracting people to you so that you can be driving them and funneling them into your business and funneling over to the VIP page or your VIP group, whatever it is that you have, a business page. But you've got to attract them in first. Relate to them. Share your real life, your interests, whether it's your kiddos, sports, your grandkids, maybe you're remodeling your house, or maybe you're just figuring out what to have for dinner for your family. All of these things have to do with Pampered Chef and your PC business, but they don't have an overt message to them. You're just sharing life. Remember, you are a resource to your potential customers. This is a relationship business, but we are also in business to help people solve problems. You all highlighted that at the beginning of this training. And you can do this just by sharing what you're doing to solve problems in your own home. People don't come to you to solve your problems. It's all about them and how can we help them solve their problems. And frankly, isn't this why you got into business as a Pampered Chef consultant, to help others? I challenge you not to use desperation language like, I have 5 dates to fill on my calendar, or I've been challenged to sell X number of popcorn makers, because your personal brand is not about having other people solve your problems. It's about you helping others solve their problems. Focus your messages on being relational and not transactional. When you focus on building the relationship and letting people get to know you and relating to them, you relate to their needs and interests rather than being seen as what's in it for me or what can I gain from this interaction. Now, your messaging should be consistent, from the style of images you share to the font you use in your images, the color schemes you choose, just like you see on the screen in front of you. Keep it consistent so that your brand becomes recognizable. Just like we do on our Pampered Chef corporate pages, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, you'll see we use very consistent fonts, we use consistent color schemes and layouts in all of our posts. Most importantly, as you're planning your posts, Whether in a party or a personal page or on your VIP page, every post should bring you out. We should hear your brand voice, not just Pampered Chef, in every post you make. Your post should reflect you. When you're completing your bio, make sure you include key information like you see above, adding a description about you, your brand, and those same key ideas we talked through. Confidence, quality, friendly, fun, enthusiastic. That should exude from your personal profile like you see in the image on your right. And of course, don't forget to have a link to your PWS and or your blog, whatever you use to drive your customers to shop. Your profile image should be you and just you. Your ideal customer needs to know who you are and who they're connecting with. And while your kiddos and grandkids are precious, they are not you. Your cover photo and other images you share can absolutely include your kids, your family, your pets, because that shows who you are as a person and that relates to your target audience and it connects your brand with your ideal customer. But when they first click on your page, they need and want to know who you are, and they need to know who that individual is that they're building the relationship with. So next, let's talk about how do I share with those who are already in my audience. And now I know you all are directors and you're leaders, and this might not necessarily pertain to you because we're really good at sharing our business and making new contacts and networking with people. But I guarantee you, you will hear regularly, I don't have anyone left to ask, especially from a new consultant or from your younger consultants on your team who are working hard and still getting their foot and still trying to build. So these tips really are geared towards those on your team who come to you and say, well, Patty, I've asked everyone I know and I have no one left. Well, that's not true. You all have a plethora of contacts at your fingertips who are not already a part of your business circle, as do your team members. So if you pull out your phone, your iPad, your laptop, whatever it is that you use to manage your Facebook, and you open up your friend list, like what you see on the screen, and I've just used mine as an example, and you scroll all the way to the bottom of your friends list, you will see those who you have least engagement with or the least amount of interaction. And I know for some of you, this list might be quite long, but Facebook really takes the guesswork out of identifying those who are not already engaged with you and your business circle. The names at the bottom of your friend list are those whom you've had little to no contact with in quite a long time. These are the people who we want to, quote, warm up, so to speak, so that you can invite them to be a part of your business, but without overtly inviting them in. So let me give you a little tip. When somebody sends you a friend request on Facebook, go ahead and accept it, unless it's one of those obvious red flag, like weirdo people that send you friend requests. Of course, let your intuition guide you. But if it looks like a normal person or they've got mutual friends with you, go ahead and accept it. They have taken the work out of you finding a new contact. You can decide later if you need or want to unfriend them. But for now, go ahead and accept that and build your contact base and encourage your newer consultants to do the same. And if you're armed with that list of friends whom you haven't had contact with in a long time, it's time to get out there and start warming them up. This strategy goes with any of your social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or Twitter. To re-engage these contacts, go to their profile and find something recent that they've posted. And this is a key. It really needs to be recent. And go ahead and like that post. And that's it. It's just something recent. Continue to do the same thing. Watch for them to post and consistently like their posts for a while. Don't like a post and then immediately hit them up with a message about your personal business. That's spammy and nobody likes that. I'm sure you've all been a victim of that person and that behavior already by somebody else. As much as you want to build your business, let it happen organically. Lay the groundwork as much as possible and build the relationship, and I promise you it will work. Once you've liked a few posts, maybe drop a comment here or there. Again, something relevant about what they've posted, not about you, not about your business, and not a paragraph, just a couple of quick words, 5 at the least. This process would really take...
Can you emphasize that? Okay.
Yep, I'm coming back to that.
Okay.
Yep. So make sure you're commenting at least 5 words. We're going to talk about that more in a second, but make sure they're relevant to the post. It's not about you. It's not about your business. It's not anything more than something relevant to what they've posted. Now, this process can take 2 or 3 weeks, but you want to continue to do it. So I challenge you to choose maybe 10 of those bottom list friends and start working this process every week. And what this is going to do is it's going to re-engage them. You are going to start popping up their newsfeed. So as you're working hard, just presenting your personal brand, they're going to start to catch on that, oh, hey, Marie has this really cool Pampered Chef business. Oh, she's offering some really great tips when she goes live. And they're going to re-engage in your business without you even having to overtly share your business. I want you to think of this as when you run into an old acquaintance in Target. You wouldn't immediately spew your business at them. And I certainly hope you wouldn't try and push a catalog on them or get them to join your team right then and there. You ask them what's new. You ask them how their family is. You rebuild the relationship and you reconnect with them. And then later on down the road, when the time is right, you present the opportunity and you share the business in whatever way. My best piece of advice to you, whether it's social media or in person, is don't be weird. And somebody gave me that piece of advice a long time ago as Facebook just started to become a thing with direct sales. And it really stuck with me. Every time I was creating a post, reaching out to somebody, making a comment, I would ask myself, Stacia, is that weird? Does it sound weird? If I was reading this, would I feel weird reading it from the other person's shoes? And if someone in your Facebook feed posts about needing a second job, this is a great example. Maybe to pay those holiday bills that you due in January or February. How would you respond? Hopefully you would be empathetic, supportive, and encouraging. But you certainly don't want to ask them to join your team right away. Or tell them they can start a Pampered Chef business that would solve their problems. You would build a relationship, and if they need what you have to offer, or they ask for information specifically or advice from you, then you would share the opportunity. You focus on the relationship, and this is no different. So with that, I want to just close out by sharing some general social media tips. The first change you might need to make is to show up every day, regularly, on at least one social media platform. And this should be the one of your choice where your ideal customer is hanging out. Go ahead and schedule those posts. Maybe you do it a week at a time. You might start on a Monday morning. When I was in business, I would I would get on my treadmill and I would be jogging on my treadmill and I would have my iPad out and I would schedule my posts for the entire week, so that I knew I was done and my social media presence was covered for the week. No excuses. If someone has a store, do they randomly just open the doors? No, they have a consistent schedule. And your social media is part of your job and having those office hours open all the time. You're going to need to prioritize 30 minutes a day generally to work on this. I like to do it in one block chunk one day for the entire week. Do what works for you. It's your business. You spend the time how you want, but be intentional in your social media planning and posts so that you are creating a brand image that is consistent and that shows up every day. People will expect to see you and they'll get excited to see you. Make sure your business-related posts and comments are happening. Are you getting on social media? Are you commenting on other people's posts outside of your parties? Are you checking on Instagram and Twitter or other social media platforms? And are you engaging, not just randomly scrolling? That's the hard part, is when you are scheduling the time to be intentional, 30 to 45 minutes every day. You're not scrolling. You're not checking the posts in your parties. You are actively working your business on social media. Social media is social. So if you want your post to show up in other people's news feeds, you need to do a few things to make that happen. And you can control this. You need people to interact on your posts. And in turn, you need to comment on 3 to 4 other people's posts every day. And these could just be fun social catch-ups with your friends. It doesn't even have to be business related. You just need to be actively posting on other people's posts in your newsfeed every single day. And this is going to make you appear more. So while you're having fun and making somebody else feel good about what they've posted, you're working your business and you're making your social media presence more strong. Now, I mentioned earlier, your comments should have at least 5 words, not an emoji and not just a like. This has to do with the Facebook algorithms. You also need to respond to every comment someone makes on your personal posts. So if somebody comments, you respond, and you respond with at least 5 words. It's a numbers game, guys. That's all it is. It beats the algorithms, and it makes you more engaged and active, which makes social media and Facebook specifically like you more and want to show you off more to other people in their news feeds. It's what gets you picked up. So if you don't have people interacting on your business page just yet, collaborate with friends. Maybe other business owners. It doesn't even have to be other direct sales business owners. It could be your insurance agent, your accountant, somebody at the doctor's office, friends you know who own, maybe they own a siding business or construction business. But make a deal with them, and between maybe 4 or 5 of you, comment on each other's posts every day. Just know, well, I know the guys at J&J Plumbing, and I'm going to comment on their posts every day. And in turn, they're going to come back and they're going to comment on my Pampered Chef posts every day. And we help each other out because that boosts our engagement. I have one consultant who started doing this, and she went from like 20 to 30 views to over 300 views on her business posts simply by engaging in other people's posts. It drives the attention to your posts. We're not trying to get their customers to follow us or to steal their business or really to do anything with their business. We are just creating conversation and getting creative in creating that conversation to increase engagement. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about good posts versus bad posts. Good posts tell a story. They solve a problem. They inspire others. They bring joy in some way to someone else. They give them something of value. So if I read your post, do I walk away feeling better about myself? Do I walk away feeling like I've gotten something, I've learned something? Maybe it just made me smile, but that's okay. That's a good post. Bad posts ask for favors. They overtly ask you to buy, to book, to sign, and it is all about me and not about the audience. I love that Barb Duke always says, think about the with them. What's in it for them, not what's in it for me. Be sure your posts are personable and relatable. Don't just copy others. And guys, everybody's doing it. I see it in my Facebook feed all the time. I know when somebody's like struck gold with a good post because I see it like 100 times over in my news feed. One person had great success with it and we all want to copy it. It's the magic bullet. Don't succumb to that temptation. Now you can take the idea, absolutely, but make it your own. Put your personal branding on it and make it your magic bullet. Don't borrow from others. Well, borrow from others. Don't copy from others. Make it yourself. You got to put your stamp on everything you post. If you see something you like, it's great. But wait a couple of days to post it too. And like I said, make it your own. If you don't, you're basically nullifying everyone else's posts and your own. And it's going to end up that nothing gets seen. And that's no fun for anyone. So change the picture, change the wording, make it sound and look like you. And I guarantee you that same idea and concept is going to have even more value because you took the time to make it your own and to change it. You also want to mix it up. Post pictures, recipes, quotes. Mix up the type of post, posting videos, post behind the scenes in your own kitchen. I love, Marie did a great video the other day. I forget what product she was showing, but it was a recipe. And I actually sat and stopped and watched the whole video. It was so good. It drew me in. Do those things and mix it up. Share a personal insight from your family, what you're having for dinner. This makes you relatable. Share inspiration, encouragement, and motivation. Keep in mind this rule of 80-20 if you're on your personal page. 80% you, 20% Pampered Chef. Now, we know Pampered Chef is you. You are part of Pampered Chef. That's going to come through in the 80%. You just want that to be in the background. That 20%, then you can really focus on a great recipe, a great tip, but just show us who you are. When you're doing these posts, you want to tell a story. Be short, be simple, and be relatable. If you haven't heard that enough yet, be relatable, be relatable. That is a key in social media success. An effective story is always personal. You want to convey why it matters to you and how it's going to help someone else. You're also going to need to try different types of posts and pictures just to see what gets the best response from your audience. I know I learned through trial and error what got the best responses from my customers. So if you're attracted to and you're stopping on certain posts or you're scrolling, pay attention to what is it that makes you stop and pause. And try some of those same kinds of posts. Even if it's your fellow Pampered Chef consultants. You all get inundated in your newsfeed with those same posts too, but what are the ones that catch your eye? Go ahead then and make those your own, or use those to create your own content plan. Because likely whatever it is that draws you in will also draw others in and your ideal customer as well. Now I hope you are all going live. If you're not going live, go live. You need to be doing it. These pop up in people's newsfeed, and this is what Facebook is looking for most. So they're going to drive more people to your lives, to your videos, and then to your regular posts of images, and then content posts. So lives get the most bang for your buck. If you're not over the hump, you've got to get over the hump and do it. I like to tell my new consultants that I'm working with, if I can do it for 15 minutes every Friday, you can do it too. Don't do it every day, or don't do it multiple times a day, just here and there, and really keep it short and sweet. Show that sweet spot of the recipe, that steam release on the quick cooker, those things that draw in our attention. You don't need to show the entire recipe creation. Show the wow at the end and talk about how easy it was as you're unveiling the finished product. You can even plan ahead for these and advertise it by letting people know, hey, I'm going to go live and show you what's for dinner in my kitchen around 4 o'clock today. And people will come on. Remember, people can come back and watch your lives later too. All of these are great tips for you as you build and develop your social media presence. So with that, I think I have hopefully not gone too long. I said I was going to keep it to 30 minutes and allow 10 minutes for questions. Maria, do we have time for any questions?
Yes, we do, because I'm going to reschedule Michelle Rossi to come on March 19th with her quick cooker workshop to allow you to have
I'm so sorry.
Q&A. No. This is such valuable information. I learned something new again, that I'm supposed to comment on everybody's comment.
That one was eye-opening to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, clearly I am passionate about branding and social media, so when I get going, I'm sorry, I'm hard to read.
You said good posts versus bad posts. My first question to you, Stacia, is what's an example of a great post that you saw that got engagement, like something that you noticed from another Pampered Chef person?
Oh, sure. Let me stop my share and I'll pull something up and then I can reshare it, because I would love to give you a live image. And okay. I'll tell you, they're posts that have nothing to do with our business. It's the posts that are real life. I've got an example. One was from yesterday. And I know I'm coaching this consultant, so I know she won't be mad if I share it with you. And she's really cute when she goes live. I love it a lot. She calls her, so when she goes live, she calls her lives Kitchen Adventures with Kinsey. Her name's Mackenzie, and her birthday was last weekend, and so she was making her birthday cake. Okay, I'm going to share this with you. So she went live and she showed the birthday cake and how she was making it, because she was using all her favorite Pampered Chef products. But here she is. Let me make this big so you can, oh, lost it. Make it big so you can see it. And this was so cute and got a ton of engagement. She only had two comments, but she told me she had tons, over 300 views on this. So, and it was cute. This was after she had finished. You can see her little Pampered Chef products in the background. It's not about Pampered Chef. It was her birthday. And the best part of making your own birthday cake is getting to make a cake taco with the extra cake toppings and icing. So, she was just having fun in her kitchen. You can see her quick cooker in the background here. She's got her cookie sheets out. She's got all her PC products. But this is her being fun and cute and letting us into her life and showing us who she is. Now, you can see her there she is. She's got the box of cake out and she's live. Her little girl's in the background. She's got her apron on. She's making the cake. And I believe it was her daughter's birthday, actually. So here she is. She's showing how Pampered Chef helped her not have to buy a store-bought cake. And she's making the cake for her daughter's first birthday party. And then this super cute post really drew me in. It's cute and it's simple. And that's the best part of, making a homemade cake, or the scraps that are left over. So that to me is a really great post.
I muted most all of you. So to ask Stacia a question, you'll have to unmute or type your question in the chat.
So I've got a question. What if, I'll use me as an example. So I'm a pastor's wife. I try not to post like crazy religious posts, but obviously that's part of who I am and what I do in like another area of my life. Like I know it's probably a fine line, is probably subjective, but like where does the line cross from who I am to turning people off? Does that make sense?
Angela, I'm going to tell you this, and it is very subjective. You have to decide this on your own. But when you feel uncomfortable posting something, or back to that statement of if you would share it in conversation with your best friend across the table, or if you would talk with somebody face to face in the same way, then I would post it and share it. But when you feel uncomfortable posting something, or if it makes you second guess, gosh, should I be posting it? Err on the side of caution. And that maybe is where you then draw the line for yourself. But that's part of who you are, and people love you for that, for your beliefs, for what you represent. And I'm sure that flows over into your Pampered Chef business as well. So don't edit your voice. Let that, embrace that, and let it all flow together.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Who else?
Did Louise put something in the comments? Let's see, in the chat.
Sorry, I can look at the chat. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, social media. Yeah.
Sounds like her husband is like her little reminder.
I love that.
Anyone
I love that. My husband asked me what I did today, and social media is part of your job. Absolutely.
I have a question.
Great. She actually has
Linda, go ahead.
So you said to make sure that you comment on everybody that does a comment on your post. So, and might be really just nitpicky, but do you reply underneath their comment, or do you make sure it's another comment in the picture?
Yep, you can reply right under their comment. That's a good question. You can reply right under their comment, because that's going to send them a notification that you've responded.
Okay.
That post. And you can tag them. You can say whatever you want. Remember, 5 words, no less.
Right.
You want to reply to each one. And the same goes in your virtual parties too. You want to be sure that you aren't just liking when somebody comments on one of your posts, but that you're actually responding.
So Marie shared a lot of this information with us at the retreat. And one thing that I did start doing that was so simple to reconnect with people, like you were saying, that's really far down in your friends list. We all get the notification of whose birthday it is today. So instead of posting on their timeline, I go and I post in their message to them. Because then someone said, yeah, well, if you ever reach out to them and they go, oh, wow, Linda, wished me a happy birthday, back, 6 months ago. So that's what I started doing. Now, would you recommend us posting on their timeline, or would you recommend us?
No, and I think that's a great tip for birthdays, Linda, because I don't know if you're like me, and I will admit, I am not a huge fan of Facebook. And I know Patty and I had this conversation when I was at Spring Launch, I live on Instagram.
I would love to live on Instagram.
Yeah, it's way more fun. I'm just a very visual person, and I get lost in the comments and all the text on Facebook. So that's why Instagram is very appealing to me. But when I log in, and I check it periodically, and of course for your birthday, because everybody wishes you
everybody
to get that notification. How many personal messages do you get on your birthday from Facebook or through
right
You don't.
Okay.
You're going to stand out. So I wouldn't even bother because, I mean, I can tell you probably 150 people wish me a happy birthday, and I don't see them all. They get lost in the shuffle.
Right, they do. They really,
They're
there's
not
too
going to
many.
notice that you didn't wish them one here because you sent them the message. I think that's a great thing.
Okay. So a question about Instagram, since you just mentioned that. You know, I have an Instagram and I'm on it, but I definitely don't post very often. But I do see people that do post quite a bit, and they're sharing posts. They're not asking for anything. I have a few consultants that do it, but you know, I see they get like 16 likes or 5 likes, or how do you get more followers to follow you on Instagram when you live in Facebook?
So you do the same thing that you did with Facebook. So I'm going to like visually show you this on my phone.
I just go in and I go follow everybody?
You can start there. Absolutely. So when you
Okay.
pull up your Instagram profile, of course, mine's going to be slow now. It will give you, there's an option. I don't know if you can see it because of the glare, but when you go into your settings, so you pull up your profile and go to the top and you go to your settings, it will say discover people. And if you click on suggested, it will suggest people for you to follow. It'll dig through your contacts. It will pull up people that are similar to you. And that's the perfect place to start. You can also find people of like interest, just like we talked about with Facebook. Who are the people that are following you? Who do they follow? And start following those. Follow food-related accounts, whether it's, I mean, obviously you should be following Pampered Chef. Look at who are some of the people that we as a corporate entity, who do we follow? And start following them. I follow a ton of food bloggers. I follow style bloggers. I follow like workout people. My Arbonne girl I follow, and she and I have a lot of similar interests. So other direct sales people you're connected with, who are they connected with? And also your hashtags that you use will draw people to you. So really it's a matter of investing time in building your social media presence. But I will tell you, Instagram is not a place where you're currently going to have parties or really drive sales. But Instagram is the place where you can build and share your personal brand. And I'll tell you who's doing it well. If you're familiar with Carolyn Cram, I believe she's in Florida. I got to work with Carolyn at National Conference in a workshop last year. And I love her Instagram. Like, she is real. She is Carolyn. If you know her personality at all, she's a hoot. But she has really been doing a great job with her social media on her Instagram and just building her brand and creating awareness for her Pampered Chef business. It's fantastic. Laura Avery is another fellow Pampered Chef consultant who has worked really hard to develop her presence on social media and develop her brand. I've worked with her quite a bit on that. She's another one you could follow and just watch her and watch what they're doing. But my advice to you is identify your key audience and go find those people. Where are they hanging out? Who are they following? And follow those same places and start commenting just like you would on Facebook. And it's gonna work just the same for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you can follow me if you want. I mean, and you can dig through my profile. If you feel like your ideal customer is somebody in my demographic, feel free to like my or request. I keep mine private, but I'm more apt to accept those that I know through Pampered Chef on my Instagram. So you're welcome. You're gonna see a lot of, like, I'll make you sick with the pictures of my kiddos. And I unveiled my new boyfriend last weekend on my Instagram page. So. But you can
unveil him here too.
Well, there's a VV jewelry for Stacia Smilek.
That was my, when I sold jewelry in my past direct sales life, that was my business page.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Now it's just, so I'm not Smilek. I should tell you that. My real last name, because I've been divorced. I am Stacia Catlett on Instagram. So it's,
okay.
Yes. But if you search Stacia C53, you'll find me. And you'll see
Actually, it's just Stacia 53.
Just Stacia 53. I think I had to change it because somebody hacked my account. So, you know,
yeah.
all that fun stuff.
All right. Thank you.
Stacia, I have a question. This is Nancy.
Hey, Nancy, how are you?
Good, good. What a great training.
Thanks.
Very good. Hey, I have a question for you that maybe some other people could relate to this. I've got my own personal, we all have our own personal Facebook page, and what you're saying is great, but what do you do when like 3/4 of the people on there are Pampered Chef consultants?
That's tough.
What do we do with that? Because I do want to promote but having 4,000 people, it's just if you've been around the block, it's a lot, and a lot of them are consultants.
I want you to be really intentional when you're commenting and liking. I know it's so easy when we're scrolling to like our fellow consultants' posts and to comment on their posts. Stop doing it. Because what you're doing is driving them to your feed, and you're not seeing that other. So maybe you've got 4,000 friends, and if 3/4 of them are Pampered Chef consultants, you're missing that 1,000 that you really want to be connecting with. Make sure you're very intentional about the ones you're connecting with. You're commenting on non-PC people's posts. You're liking non-PC people's posts, and making sure that you're really intentional about building the relationship with those people outside of Pampered Chef. And that will increase that engagement in that area.
Mm-hmm. So you basically just have to look at they're about who they are, because some of these people may be 7 years old. That they're not with Pampered Chef anymore, but we just kind of have to be intentional of.
Exactly. Yep. And you'll start to notice the more intentional you're being, and when you're commenting on outsiders, as we'll call them, you'll start to see more outsiders in your feed, and you'll see a little less of that Pampered Chef.
So I have a question. I was thinking of that, but Nancy, here's the other thing is that if you have, because we have lost a lot of our consultants, but it's nice that we stay connected. So you just have to keep thinking, are they part of my team still? Are they not part of my team still? You know what I mean? So I actually have them, although I have to keep up with labeling them. You can give like friends, family, so you can give them what is that called? I guess a label.
Filtering. Yeah, I would consider it filtering. And you can also set parameters on your posts now as far as who you want to see them as well, so that those certain segments can only see certain posts. But really, when you're trying to drive attraction, you want to make sure that you're being intentional about the work you're doing, and that's going to come back twofold for you.
Okay. Can you, not that you want to unfriend people, can you unfollow or?
Isn't it hide friends?
Show them in their feed. Like if you don't want all these people to show up in your feed, how do you?
You can hide. I have to think about, because it just changed. You can hide who sees what you post anytime.
Okay.
And you can limit that yourself. You can unfollow people, and when you unfollow them, they don't automatically come up in your feed. You can go find it's not like it blocks them. You can go find them. That's another way to do it too.
So I have a question. So all these posts are done in our personal page, but then how are you going to drive them to your business page? Because I tend not to post too much about, I try not to post too much about Pampered Chef in my personal page. It's more like personal. And then I try to send people over, I'm going to go live on my business page at X amount of time with a new recipe or whatever. So is that good or bad?
You can go live, and you can share that live. So what I would encourage you to do is go live on your personal page and share it to your business page, or vice versa. Go live on that business page and share it to your personal, so that you're driving the traffic one way or the other.
Okay.
And honestly, what I would do is I would go live on my business page and then share it to my personal, so that they get the hint that, hey, he's doing some stuff over here. What am I missing? Because I'm not a part of that. And you can do the same thing in your virtual parties too, Louise. If you're doing virtuals, make sure that you're letting them know, hey, if you love Pampered Chef, or if you're really intrigued, you just want more tips and recipes, I post all the time on my business page, and that you're driving everybody over to that business page. And periodically, what I would do on my personal page is I would post a little link with a cute graphic to my business page and say, hey, if you feel like you're missing out, or, I don't post a ton about my Pampered Chef business here for a reason, but if you want to know more, you need to be hanging out here, because this is what I share.
Okay.
And just maybe once a month or once every other month, you can post something like that too.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it better to have a business page or group?
Personal preference.
Because right now I have both, and I have pretty much different people in both, but it seems like no matter what I'm really posting in my personal VIP, I am getting zero interaction anymore.
Okay, are you getting interaction in the other?
It's way, way down. And they're literally, I'm using the same post. I mean, they're identical because lots of times I'll do like send share because I know I have different people.
Well, that could be part of your problem, is that you're doing the same thing twice. So one, you're doubling your efforts, even though you're using send share and you're posting, which sometimes send share can bring down your engagement as well because you're not manually posting. And Facebook knows that, and we know Facebook isn't a big fan of those schedulers. I would encourage you, Eileen, to pick one and merge the two that you have into one, whether it's a group or a page, whatever you prefer. And it is truly a matter of effort, of preference, but when you focus your efforts and energy in one place, you're going to be more consistent and you're going to have more consistent engagement. Personally, I would do a page over a group because you have more versatility with a page and you can do more with the page. It's not as limited as a group, but that's my personal opinion.
How do you merge them? How do I do that?
You're not going to be able to technically merge it. You're going to
I know
tell
that.
them.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So once you decide which one you want to go with, whether it's the group or the page, what I would do is I would go live in the opposite and say, hey guys, it's time to change it up. I'm doing something new and fresh. To keep getting the updates about Pampered Chef that you love and to be in the know, you need to head over here and give them the link. And if you want to, you can take the step to personally message those that are engaged in the group that you're going to get rid of and let them know, hey, you're not going to see me over here anymore. Head here to see me. So it's going to be some legwork, but I think in the long run, it'll be worth it for you to have one entity in one space to manage.
I don't want to make this about virtual parties, but what you just said kind of scares me in that if you're using Sent Share to post in your virtual party groups, does that mean that's why our engagement is lower?
It has meant that in the past, but we all know how Facebook changes their algorithms, you know, like we change our underwear. So currently I haven't heard anything to that, but in the past I know Facebook has limited the views from scheduled posts. That's why they've implemented their own scheduler.
A quick question on that. If you're using Facebook scheduler, is that better?
Yes. According to Facebook, it is.
Yeah, but then you can't just batch post. You have to go, if you are, that's too hard. That means you have to schedule every single post every single time.
And the reason they do that, I mean, you know, when you're in your Facebook and you see the ads pop up on the side, they want you in Facebook as long as they can keep you in Facebook because that's how they make their money.
Not in there all day long. Is that not enough?
Right. That's why I will continually preach that our bread and butter is an in-person, in-home cooking show.
Yes, it is.
But I mean, I love the virtual world. There's something to be
the numbers right now, unfortunately,
but I'm the in-person girl. I would love to have my 10, 15 friends at my house and cook a good meal and have a glass of wine. So, and forget Facebook.
Real food, real fun, real friends.
Yes.
And Linda, being that you're talking right now, can you tell us anything about your superstar whose first show was $3,000?
You know, it's funny that you asked. So I helped her do it. It was a really crazy day. Her mother was amazing. She was the host. So she's only 19 years old. Sarah is only 19, and I'm super excited that I have this young, vibrant gal. Her mother used to be a Pampered Chef consultant many, many, many years ago. And she knew how to invite. And so she had invited a lot of people. I will tell you, she did not invite via a Facebook group. She did not use the Pampered Chef. She actually used old-fashioned Evite, which I'm seeing a few more people do that actually just this month. And she had 25 people in attendance. With the 25 people, so this is something that Stacia, I'm glad you're on here because I'd love for you to take this back to Pampered Chef.
Oh, let me get my pen. Hold on. I got you. Okay, go ahead, Linda.
When a new consultant purchases the ultimate kit and they are getting the recipes and they're getting the recipes for each different kit, they have the access to those. Unfortunately, in the ultimate kit recipes, you can take that chicken chipotle nacho dip and you can use the grill pan and the rock crock versus just the silly round stone. And don't get me wrong, I love my stones, but she was thinking, well, Linda, I've made this now twice on the stone, and now you're telling me you want me to use the grill pan and the rock crock. I'm going, yeah, that's what I'm telling you to do.
We're aware, and changes are in the works.
Okay, all right, because that's exactly what we sold. We sold grill pans and rock crocks, and that's why it was $3,000.
And I'll tell you, Linda, there's been a little pushback. And I personally have been preaching that message for a while because we all talk about double burner grill pan. We talk about, the rock crock, now the quick cooker. And stoneware is our foundation. And stoneware is Pampered Chef. But it is kind of...
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
And
I hate to say outdated, but we're moving away from it. We're trying to be on trend.
Right.
And I love our stoneware and they're our heritage, but that's not quite on trend right now. So I hear you loud and clear, and the office has heard and is working towards making some adaptation.
Okay. So when I left there that day, and when I left, it was about $2,300 when I left. And I did let her do like 70% of it. And I just kind of backed her up on what she was missing with the quick tips and stuff. But when I asked her, I said, so are you happy now that we did the rock crock and the grill pan versus and she said, oh, yes, absolutely. So we have got to do a better job of teaching our consultants how to use a power tool as the highlight product and not the recipe as the highlight. And us old people that have been doing this forever, we understand that, but the newer consultants don't. And I don't know that there's some really appealing grill pan and rock crock recipes in those ultimate kits that really make them. But that chicken chipotle dip, I have every single new consultant. I had a consultant do it on Friday night. She was a brand new consultant. She did the same recipe and she closed her party out at $1,500. And she's a brand new consultant, and she did that show all by herself.
That's awesome.
So, it really...
And it also is a testament, Linda, to your coaching and your knowledge, and that you're using that to coach your new consultants. Because I think, and just on speaking from what I know with new consultants, they're not being taught those key things about how do I feature a power tool? They don't even know what a power tool is. They hear power tool and they get freaked out.
Right.
So that is something that we as leaders really need to work hard at, to come alongside our new consultants and help them understand the value of knowing those like top 5 tools that can
exactly. And that's what I was telling her is that, I asked her in the new consultant when I was training her, I said, do you want to sell a $48 stone or do you want to sell a $190 grill pan? And I mean, that's a no-brainer. So that's why it was $3,000, Marie. Lots of people, super amazing crowd. She got 4 bookings. I think some of it was situational. Mom was there and being supportive of her daughter starting the business. And but don't shy away from 19-year-olds. She came back from college and hated college. She hated college. She was not a college girl, and she was looking for something to do that was fun. And now my fear is, though, Stacia, and I'm so glad that you did this, is she knows that all of her friends are not on Facebook. They are on Instagram. And I'm telling her, well, it's not really your friends that we really want to attract on Facebook. It's your mom's friends that we want to attract on Facebook.
So she needs to have a presence in both places. And the cool thing about Instagram, it works so much like Facebook. She can go live on her Insta stories and do the same thing we do live on Facebook there and drive them to her Facebook page.
Yep. So it's a different bird.
And if any of you are new to Instagram or need some help with that, I did a training back in the late fall, early winter, just Instagram basics that I would be happy. I've got a little YouTube link. It is basic Instagram, but I'm happy to share. It just helps you get started with it. There's not really a whole lot of content to it, just how to get things set up and how to get going. If that's something you're interested in, Marie, did I give you that link? If I didn't, I will. Yep, I'm happy to share that. I see Connie.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah, it'll be great to post it on P-Chef team and
Let me do that now while I'm thinking of it.
I'm wondering if you could post it here in the comments as well.
Yep, I sure can. I'm going to do that right now.
I was going to just kind of give 2 cents of what's working for me in terms of Instagram and Facebook. So I personally have a Facebook business page, and I have had people find me. It's like a virtual business card for you, basically. Find me, join my team, have parties, invite me to vendor events, different things like that. So I really feel like personally, like Stacia said, it's a personal preference, but I've had lots and lots of really good things come from having a public business page. Last year, I jumped over to Instagram, and I really wanted to tackle that because I felt like I had Facebook pretty much figured out. And so I worked really, really hard. I've done a lot of research, followed people, like Stacia was saying, like all these things she's telling me, right? And I started using IG stories. And if you have a business Facebook page, you can link that to your business Instagram account. So, Stacia was talking about work smarter, not harder. So when I go in live in my stories, which every night when I cook dinner, if you follow me,
yep,
I'm breaking it down, but I'm not selling. I'm showing them solutions for dinner, how quick and easy it is for me. And I save those. And when I post it, I have it setting up to where it posts to my Instagram stories, and it posts over on my business page stories. And then I don't want to clog my personal feed with all my Pampered Chef stuff. But what I do is I take those as I save them, and I put them over on my personal Facebook stories.
And here and there, you can share those on here and there when it's really good, or you got something really great out of it. You can share them onto your personal. It doesn't have to be all the time. I think that's a great tip, Erin.
I read something though that when you're posting on Instagram, and if it automatically shares to your business page, then you get less viewers on your business page.
I also post on my business page, like I'll post blog posts. Or
it's when you're only doing that, when you're only relying on Instagram to share over to your Facebook, that it decreases your engagement. But when you're doing things in between, you're not going to negate that. So you don't want to only be sharing from one to the other constantly and allowing it. Basically, it's working smarter, not harder, but it's also not as effective. So you have to go in there and have the Facebook strategy